Or a gardener, you know that sinking feeling all too well. One day, your plants are looking amazing, and the next, they're crawling with tiny little pests. We're talking about aphids, of course. Today, we're going to dive into the simple, natural solutions that gardeners on places like Reddit absolutely swear by to get rid of them for good. Let's get right into it.
It is just a gardener's worst nightmare. You find hundreds of these tiny bugs that seem to have appeared overnight, and they are literally sucking the life out of your beautiful plants. Now, your gut reaction might be to reach for some heavy-duty chemical spray, but as so many experienced gardeners will tell you, that often just creates way more problems than it solves, and it rarely gets rid of the aphids permanently.
So, if we want to win this battle, we have to know our enemy. What exactly are aphids, and what makes them such a stubborn, relentless pest in our gardens? Okay, this definition tells us everything we need to know. Look at their key weakness and their key strength right there. Soft-bodied, that is their Achilles heel. It makes them really vulnerable to some simple treatments. But then you see, reproducing at an incredibly rapid rate. And that, my friends, that's their superpower. It's what makes them so tough to get under control. And this is where it gets just completely wild. It's a thing called telescopic development. It means that some aphids give birth to live babies that are, get this, already pregnant themselves. Just think about that for a second. That is exactly why an aphid population can explode from just a few to a few thousand in what feels like the blink of an eye. You have to act fast.
The damage they cause is no joke. They're like little vampires stealing vital nutrients, which stunts the plant's growth and can even spread diseases from one plant to another. And that sticky honeydew they leave behind? Ugh, that's basically a dinner bell for ants and sooty mold, which is a whole other headache you do not want to deal with.
Okay, so you found them. What's your first move? According to pretty much every gardening community out there, you don't reach for a spray. You start with something much, much simpler. Physical force. I know, it sounds way too simple to actually work, but it does. Aphids have a surprisingly weak grip, so a strong jet of water from your hose aimed right at the undersides of the leaves where they love to hide is often enough to just blast them off. Most of them won't have the strength to climb back on. Now the key here, and this is super important, is consistency. Hitting them once isn't going to cut it because new aphids are always hatching. You've got to do this every few days to really break their life cycle. Think of it less like a single knockout punch and more like a war of attrition. So what happens if that jet of water just isn't getting the job done? Well, it's time to level up. Let's talk about some really simple but powerful natural sprays you can use. The old classic soap spray. And listen, we're not talking about your kitchen dish soap. That can actually damage your plants. You want a mild, pure soap. Something like Castile soap is perfect. A few drops in a spray bottle of water is literally all it takes. And the way it works is actually pretty cool.
Remember how we said their soft body was their biggest weakness? This is why. The soap actually dissolves the waxy protective layer on their bodies, and without it, they just dehydrate and die. It's incredibly effective, but there is one catch. You have to make direct contact. You gotta spray it right on them.
So let's compare our two main natural options here. Soap spray is all about immediate results. It's your quick knockdown tool when you need to act fast. Neem oil, on the other hand, is for the long game. It works by messing up their whole system. It disrupts their feeding, their reproduction, and it helps prevent future generations from taking hold. But, and this is a big but, with neem oil, you have to use it correctly. If you spray it in the middle of a hot, sunny day, it can actually act like a magnifying glass and burn your plant's leaves. So you always want to apply it either early in the morning or late in the evening. And of course, always follow the dilutions instructions on the bottle. Okay, so far, we've really been playing defense. We've been reacting to the problem. But the real pro move is to go offense. This is about a total shift in mindset, from just fighting pests to building a garden that can actually defend itself. This right here is a complete game changer. Instead of constantly being in reaction mode, you start working with nature. You basically roll out the welcome mat for the good guys, all the beneficial insects that see aphids as an all-you-can-eat buffet. So let me introduce you to your garden's new security team. First up, ladybugs and their larvae. They are absolute aphid-eating machines. Then you have lacewings. Their larvae are nicknamed aphid lions for a reason. And parasitic wasps. Well, let's just say there's something out of a horror movie for an aphid.
Plant things like dill, fennel, and marigolds to attract them, and they will happily do the hard work for you.
And get this, a single ladybug can eat up to 50 aphids in one day. That's over 5,000 in its lifetime. So a small army of them provides you with 24/7 pest control, completely free. Now that is the power of a healthy, balanced ecosystem.
Okay, let's put this all together. We've talked about physical removal, we've talked about natural sprays, and we've talked about bringing in beneficial insects. But there is one more critical piece to this puzzle, and it's a big one.
This is the part that drives so many gardeners absolutely crazy. You do everything right, you follow all the steps, and a week later, they're back. Why? What's going on? Well, it's because you might be ignoring the real culprit behind the scenes.
And here's the plot twist. Your aphids, they have bodyguards. They have a tiny, dedicated army that protects them from predators. And that army is ants. It's this bizarre little symbiotic relationship. The ants are basically farming the aphids. The aphids provide that sugary honeydew that ants love to eat. And in exchange, the ants act like little ranchers, protecting them from predators like ladybugs. So if you see ants marching up and down your plants, you have to deal with them to really get rid of the aphids. So here it is, the complete 4-part game plan. It is a layered defense. First, you knock them off with water. Second, you disrupt and eliminate with your sprays. Third, at the same time, you're recruiting your predator army. And fourth, the final piece, you control the ants to break that farming cycle. You see, each step makes the others even more effective. And this is the real reward for all this work. You get to stop being a firefighter, constantly running around battling new infestations. Instead, you become a garden architect, building a resilient ecosystem that pretty much takes care of itself. And that, right there, is when gardening gets really fun. So the next time you see a pest in your garden, ask yourself this question. Because making that mental shift, well, that's the real secret to a garden that doesn't just